I was talking to a lady yesterday at one of the conferences that I was speaking at in Texas, and she said, I just found you, and she said, you do not understand what you've done in my life. She said, I was so ratchet. And she said, now I don't even know who I am. I'm even like, girl, get strong. Because now I'm finding myself just like things that used to bother me didn't bother me. She says, but I'm having a hard time with God. I'm like, huh? You like me, but you don't like God. She goes, I feel like the reason I'm walking through what I'm walking through is because God didn't do something for me that I asked him to do. And I said, well, then that would have meant that he's a genie in a bottle. Because so often the reason things don't happen in our lives, we've been in a series this whole month called Reckless Love. The reckless love of God is that when we can't see what God is doing, we still got to know that God's moving. Like when God doesn't answer our prayer, we think he's on vacation. We got to still know that if it didn't work out, it's because it wasn't in God's plans. If that relationship didn't work out, it's because God knew something about that person you didn't know. And though you saw the good in that person, God's over here saying, you don't really know that person, right? And so God is allowing things during this pandemic, what the enemy meant for evil, God's turning good. He's allowing this pandemic. He's allowing this season. He's allowing us to walk into this Thanksgiving trying to figure out how we're going to navigate, because so many people have lost loved ones during this COVID. Cancer. People are dying of heart failure because they couldn't get to the doctors, and so they didn't get checked up. So the enemy's got all of this going on around us, trying to get us off base. So now we're getting caught up in our feelings, and we're not walking in healing. We're walking around looking at other people on social media, and all we see is their highlight reels. You ever seen those people that look like they got everything going on? It's a facade. Because it's proof that your life can be awesome. I'm living it. I live the most incredible life ever, but I need to rent a whole family. Because I can either dwell in the fact that my daddy's gone, that things have gone on in my life, that the life stinks, and I could just be over here, I'm gonna just bathe in the pumpkin pie, and I'm just gonna sleep with the chocolate cake Mimi makes, and I'm just gonna drown myself in just all of this because my life is so bad. Or I can look at it like, no, I'm breathing. The reckless love of God knew, obviously, that I was going to make it through what I was making it through, and it's always for somebody else. But I could be over here stuck in this place that I can't stand, or I can look at the devil and say, devil, you should have messed with somebody else. Because I can tell you one thing, I might fall, but I promise to God I'm getting up. So I think it's changing the perspective, and I want to talk to you about that today. I want to title this Reckless Love series, I want to title it Resetting Your Heart. Here's what the enemy will do. When we leave one toxic situation, or we're so used to excitement, we're so used to loud, we're so used to feelings, emotions, then all of a sudden when God's growing us, we find ourselves like, oh my God, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Why? Because we were used to the toxic. We were used to the deprivation and pain. We were used to the emotions. We're driven by emotions. And then when God has taken us to another place, most of the time, it's that quiet season. My daddy used to always tell me, Kimberly, the teacher is always silent in the test. So now instead of getting mad because I ain't hearing God, or because he ain't moving in this situation, or because I'm feeling this certain way at this Thanksgiving or this, I refuse to stay there, and I begin to ask God, what am I supposed to learn in this situation? Because I know this is for somebody else. But what will happen is we are so used to this that if we're not careful, we'll jump from this toxic, this emotionalism, this excitement, that we'll then jump over somewhere else to fill the void of what we feel here that filled the void. And we'll keep jumping from toxic to toxic to toxic to toxic. And it's usually a person, another person, another person, another person, because somewhere in us, we don't feel like we can ever really heal because we've never healed on our own. Because somewhere we feel like we're not worth it. But the beautiful thing about God is that God offers you a fresh start. When? Every week? Huh? He offers you a fresh start daily. When you wake up in the morning, you have a choice to say, I will look at all that I've got to conquer, or I'll look at how far I've already conquered. Because the reckless love of God is there. It's tangible. It's for me. It's for you. It's free. You ain't got to give $99.02. You ain't got to sit at home and get on all these apps and be dating all these people to try to fill a void. That's just a perk. I'm ready for love. I know how to be selfless, right? It's filling the voids and realizing that God's grace and mercy comes to us every single day. And if we don't want what we've got in our lives, we've got to do something we ain't never done to get what we ain't got. But we live in a society now where we're just staring at other people's profiles, and we got keto, we got all these fads. You were ketoing and now you're etoing. Now you're going to the doctor and they're like, girl, you're on the obese chart. What? Then we feel stuck. Oh my God, I got 50 pounds to lose. Might as well eat all the turkey I can because I'm already fat anyway. Might as well just even out the fat. Instead of realizing, no, I can do anything for 30 days. You've got 5 weeks left. I don't want what I got now, so I'm going to start getting myself in position for where I want to go. And I ain't going to get on January the 1st. I ain't saying I'll do it on January the 1st. No, I'm doing it today. God, if there's something in my life that ain't working, that ain't pleasing to you, God says he will do exceedingly abundantly more than we could ever ask or think. That means if you barely getting by, you in your own way. He says joy comes in the morning. He said weeping may endure for a season, not a lifetime. Some of y'all been crying forever over your daddy. You 48. You still crying over your daddy. You've been going to a therapist. She has bought 2 houses on you because you refuse to let go. Why? Glad you asked. Because somewhere in us, here's what we do. Get your phones out. You're going to take notes. We train our brains to want revenge. I trusted you, and you broke my heart. And now instead of me going into the spiritual ER, I'm going to go into the courtroom. And I want you to pay because you lied to me. I want you to pay because you had the nerve to lay down with my mama and walk out on me and give me all this baggage. And then we start believing we got to be just like, I ain't never going to be like my mama. And you just like her. I ain't never going to recover. My mama was like that. My aunt was like that. And we get in this courtroom in our spirits. Then we get sick. One of my girls yesterday was at the conference, and she said, when you came into my life, I was on 22 pills. I had lupus, fibromyalgia. I was diagnosed with MS. And she said, today, 2 years later, I'm on nothing with not one symptom. Why? Y'all, why? Because she was led to believe that she had to be in the courtroom. I am who birthed me. I am what they said I am. So if the enemy cannot take me out, he's using discouragement. Because there are people in your life that have done everything that you've done, but they never got caught. And yet they are telling you every single day of your life and reminding you of what you've done. They're your courtroom. Then you find yourself getting in a habit of trying to prove, I am not what you said I am. So then you begin to prove and live a life of trying to prove I'm better than what you said I am. And then we live under this microscope, not realizing that God made us unstoppable. He created you, anointed. He empowered you. The same power that raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. You don't have to live on 22 pills a day. Now, some of y'all need to be on medication. Not 22 pills. Maybe one happy pill. Just today. Because you need help. Because somebody broke your heart a million pieces. Therapy and God are a good thing. But we get in a place where we feel like We get addicted. It's almost like we get addicted to fill the void of what addicted us. We were addicted to that man. We were addicted to that woman. We were addicted to deprivation and pain. And so what we do now is we are addicted to the pills. We trade one vice for another. Then before long, we get some friends in our life that are normal, that don't call us 15,000 times a day. And we're like, we need to talk about something? Are you mad at me? No, they're normal. But because we're so used to walking around thinking everything's got to be drama, everything's spiritual warfare, I feel so sorry for God. The devil is just after me, or God's just doing this. No, stop. You did it. But God was building your message in it. So it's allowing yourself to get out of the courtroom, and I'm going to break it down for you. Are y'all ready for me? Y'all ready for this? I can't hear you. So you got to train your brain to hate what needs to go and to love what needs to stay. Nothing changes until, until you make up in your mind, I'm done. I don't want you to pat me on the back no more. Oh, you poor thing. Stop! You can't pray for me if you're feeling sorry for me. I need some people in my life that when I'm walking through hell and I look like I have been beat to hell and I am trying to isolate myself, I need a church of people, I need a tribe of people that are going to look at me and say, you are not what you did. You are not who they say you are. You might have done everything they said you did, but it was for such a time as this. You got to train your brain to hate what ain't working. Because until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, stop, say this with me, stop settling. And say your name. Stop settling, Kim. Because if we don't get to a place where we stop settling, then we are over here, we're supposed to be driving our dream cars. We're supposed to be walking up in our job like I dropped out in 8th grade. What? Oh, I've been divorced 5 times like the woman at the well, but hey, look at here. Bow, chicka, wow, wow. But see, we get stuck in the courtroom of all that we did wrong and not realize that every time the enemy was sapping you and trying to deplete you and trying to make you be embarrassed, trying to make you feel like a failure, that was the enemy saying, I know what's in you. Oh, but if you don't ever know what's in you, you will stay at the well. You will stay in the belly of the fish. If you don't ever see it, you ain't never gonna be a threat. Because baby, when you finally figure out what you walked through was all for the glory of God. Y'all gonna make me work today. You gonna make me work today. Some of y'all stuck like Chuck. Okay. Oh no. Yeah, it hurt like hell. But you better not take your eyes off me. Because baby, you thought when the curtain closed in my life that the production was over. But the curtain had to close so God could set up for the next scene. I'm back! Yeah, I'm struggling right now. Yeah, I'm on medication right now. Yeah, but you better not take your eyes off of me. Here's the problem. We celebrate what's... Wow! We celebrate what's visible and not what's valuable. Oh, you better get that. Oh, I don't understand that. That went over my head. We celebrate. I'll celebrate when I buy that house. I'll celebrate when I get to walk down the aisle in my big dress. I'll celebrate whenever I get a promotion. No, you won't. You got to celebrate what's invisible until it becomes visible. Because what's powerful in you ain't got nothing to do with substance. It's in here. It's in here. Oh no, but we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to tell you how we broke. We want to tell you how we hurt. We don't want to tell you that we swang on a pole at Pink Pony. We don't want to tell you. We don't want to tell you that we walked through bankruptcy. We want to keep carrying our Gucci bags with nothing in it. Because I care more what you think about me than what's in me. Yeah, I've made some bad turns, but you better keep on watching. Because I'm going to show you greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Do I have some people in this room today that says I'm coming out? You always hear people say, yo, I went through straight up divorce 2.5 years ago. Walked in front of the whole world. Everybody was talking about it. I was shocked as the whole world when it all came out. I wanted to go to bed and I wanted to just die. And I remember in that season, God said, people watching you that you never thought was watching you. Because it ain't what they can see, it's what's in you. And if it wasn't in you to make it through, I would have never let you walk it through. So I need you to stay focused. Kim, I'm like, oh, dear God, I can't do this, God. I can't take this again. I can't go through. He said, get yourself right. So that thing that is tearing your heart apart is building character in you. You're either going to be bitter or you're going to be better. You're going to either believe what they say about you or you're going to say, oh, keep watching. Oh, no, that might have been the old me, but that ain't who I am now. Oh, they expecting you to clap back, but you ain't clapping back this time. You ain't got time to clap back. You ain't got time to try to right the wrong. You're like Whitney Houston. You're letting the wrongs be gone. But people in that season, I found me. Yo, I got so much better. I wasn't messy no more. I wasn't fly by the seat of my pants no more. I started growing. I went from bye Felicia to come on Felicia. Come on girl. It did something in me that made me love the hell out of people more. Because I realized sometimes you are stuck in a situation and you didn't have nothing to do with it. And so instead of blaming and pointing my finger and listening to gossip, I got better. I pastored better. I fell in love with pastoring. Being here is my favorite thing to do on Sundays. But you know, nobody told me, Kimberly, that contentment looks so good on you. But I just lost 55 pounds and all I'm hearing is, girl, what'd you do? Tell me your secret. Because the world judges you off of what they see. They don't judge you off of what's valuable. They judge you off of what's visible. So if you're waiting for people to judge you or see you or accept you off of what's in here, you're going to die. That's why you got to know what God says about you. Listen to what Psalms 119, 112 through 114 says. Because people judge you off of what's visible, not what's valuable. But I know me. I love me. I love my little praise breaks. I can't dance for nothing and Mimi behind me. Show them, Mimi. Show them how to dance. Show them, girl. Show them. 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 Me and Mimi stir up so many religious devils. They're like, why y'all doing that? Because, girl, we made it through some stuff, and we realized that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if you never celebrate me, I know God is still on the throne. Woo! Psalms 119. It says, I have inclined my heart. I have inclined my heart. You know what that means? Incline. It's like I'm laying like this. See, if I wouldn't have lost 55 pounds, I'd be stuck. So I'm laying in my hell. Woo, I can hear what they're saying about me. But all of a sudden, I have inclined my heart. I'm getting up and I'm getting out. It said, I have inclined my heart to perform your statutes forever, even to the end, even when I can't see it, even when I feel like you're on vacation. Listen to this. When you walk through hell, you start hating those who are double-minded. It says, I hate those who are double-minded. I'm inclined. I'm reaching forward. It's like those beds. When you're older, he snores and you don't. So you go and buy one of those pediatric, whatever the mattresses are called. You can move one side up, and now he's sleeping like this, and you're sleeping like this. You got to do what you got to do to sleep. That's what this is saying. You got to incline your heart. And listen, he says, I hate those who are double-minded. That's why you don't get along with those people no more. Oh, you used to be able to hang out with them, but now y'all ain't got nothing going on no more. Now you're like, hello? Is anybody looking for me? You don't call me no more? I can't buy Shein for clothes no more because I don't go nowhere. Why? Because God has gotten you to a place where you can't be double-minded, that you're willing to walk through some quiet seasons to get an advancement. It says, but I love and treasure your law, God. You know what? Make me a house. Make me a house of worship. Make me a house of praise. Make me a house, God. I want to be so hungry for you that when I go to sleep at night, I got peace. How many people got sleeping problems in here? Lift up your hand. If you got sleeping problems, it's because you ain't got no peace. And you ain't got no peace because you're trying to be the God in your life. Exceedingly abundantly, more than I could ever ask or think. That means you ain't never going to be able to figure out what God's about to do in your life. But I can tell you, it is greater than anything that's on your vision board. I love and treasure your law. You are my hiding place and my shield. I wait for your word. So before change can happen, you have to hate something. Hate's a big word, ain't it? Some of y'all been dancing with that fool forever. You building a bear, and that bear is got a hole in it, and you wonder why you can't breathe. Trying to give CPR to dead situations. This is including friends and jobs. Feeling like you stuck because you ain't stuck, because you ain't no tree. You can get up and walk out, but I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, I got all these bills, and I promise to God, if you step, he will open the windows because he never created you to hate your life. Your habits create the position of your heart. And that's my prayer. During this Thanksgiving week, when you got to go in that house on those people you can't stand. I'd rather put needles in my eyes. There's some of you women that are married to these men. These men can't help his mama is a loudmouth chunky butt. But you're making that man suffer because you don't like his mama. He can't do nothing to her. But because we hate our situation so bad, really we hate us. And I know I just got some people just ready to get, you ready to dip out of the church. I'm telling you, I used to be that way. You got to find peace. You got to find peace with yourself. Your marriages will be restored. You'll be chasing each other around the house again. Your jobs will be in abundance. Why? Because out of your mouth flows the issues of your life. Proverbs 4 said, guard your heart. Guard your heart. God, I don't want to be over here mad at everything, offended. Some of y'all got your offense panties wrapped so tight around your neck. Well, I don't know why God's blessing them. They're ratchet. You don't know. You only see what people let you see. So this week, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take people out of the courtroom. And we're going to put ourselves in the ER. And we're going to let God heal us. When people don't see how good you're doing, God sees it. People see your deeds, but God sees your heart. We have to get free from people. If they gave you your confidence, then they can take it back. If you die for people's approval, you're going to be dead every other week. They ride or dies until you ain't got no gas in the car. And the Bible says that it's the little foxes that spoil the vine. It's the little foxes that spoil the vine. So if you've got daddy issues, he'll keep sending you that crazy person in your life. And you'll never be trusting anybody ever again. You'll be ruled off of emotions. Because guess what? People only clap for what is visible, not for what's valuable. So you got to know. The enemy will have me so distracted if I'm not careful, and I will become an Ann Taylor when God created me to be a Betsy Johnson. You will be trying to be like every influencer on social media that has got the knack of building apps when they ain't even who they portrayed themselves to be. Why? Because you need attention. So you got to fix that thing on the inside of you. If you know everybody's tea in town, you are the problem. If everybody calls you and says, girl, tell me what's going on. What's up with her? You need to come to the altar. It means you need a life. Because at 49 years old, I'm living my best life. Y'all, at 36 years old, I lost everything. At 40 years old, I'm at Bloomingdale's and I go and preach a sermon that goes viral. And now I'm 49. I've written 4 books with my special ed self. Why? Because I stopped letting people put a price tag on me. So this week you got to receive the reckless love of God. And here's what I want to ask you as I'm closing. Have you ever in your mind held court? In your mind, you put someone on trial and you sentenced them so that justice could be served. At least in your heart and your mind. We've all done it because we all have something in common. Every one of us in this room has been hurt by someone we trusted. Let down. During this pandemic, well, I know who's essential in my life. They ain't checked on me one time. They were in a pandemic too. You never know what people are walking through, y'all. I lost my daddy and had to preach to y'all the next day. At some point, you got to get to a place where you don't allow your emotions to rule you and you stay planted. Blessed is a man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the seat of the sinner, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. For his delight is in the law of the Lord. In his law, he meditates day and night. He is like a tree planted by the rivers of living water. That means when hell comes my way, I will not be distracted. When I don't get that promotion, I will not be distracted. When everybody in my family dies to COVID, I'm not going to be distracted. I'm going to cry, but I'm going to move. I'm going to learn to mourn and move even when I don't understand. I'm not going to allow something that happened to me when I was 12 to take my life. Yes, it hurt, but I got to let you out of the courtroom. Because what I went through wasn't even for me, it was for somebody else. That's why the enemy doesn't want you to forgive. The enemy doesn't want you to believe that you're really worth the reckless love of God, that if you were the only one on this planet, he would still get off of that throne and onto that cross and stretch his arms out wide and say, for you it is finished. Y'all, if you ain't laughed, how many of you ain't laughed like, in a long time? Raise your hand. Now I know y'all lying. Some of y'all look like y'all need to laugh. Y'all like it. I am a nut. I get on people's nerves and I love it. But they always want to be around me. Why? Because I don't let anything get in my heart. I don't let your brokenness get in me. We've all been wounded by a parent, a spouse, a sibling, a friend, a teacher, maybe even a church, and that's why some of y'all have a hard time coming. Have you felt pain in your heart? My guess is you've done what all of us have done. Instead of bringing your wound to God, to the spiritual ER, you took your wound and wounded somebody else. You took them to court in your heart. Here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. When we have a wound on the outside, we go to the ER to dress our wound, to find healing. But when we have a wound on the inside, we don't know how to deal with it. So instead of healing and heading to the spiritual ER to heal our wound, we head to the courtroom to punish our offender. For some reason, we think we're dispensing justice, and it's going to heal our hearts. Some of us walk around wounded because we felt our wound untreated, and we left it untreated, and it's never healed. Now we're suffering fibromyalgia, high blood pressure, arthritis. When someone harms us, it is tempting to walk around saying, you owe me. You ever seen those people that come at you and they debate all the time and they're always giving their opinion? Nobody asks you for your opinion. But because they're broken, hurt people hurt people. But here's what you got to do. Forgiving others is the only way to heal your heart and accept reckless love from God. So guess what? When you walk around with hurt in your heart, you're making your loved ones pay for something they didn't do. You never love on your kids. They never see you love on their mama or daddy. See how the cycle is beginning? They're going to get in a marriage. They're going to do the same thing. Because we never went to the ER. But you know how good God is in this room? You can stand on your feet. Here's how good God is. I went, golly, man, every day I'm growing. I always tell people, well, if you heard something about me 3 weeks ago, it's old news. Because my growth game is on point at this point in my life. I'm quick to apologize. Even if I don't think I did anything wrong, I own it. Because that's how they feel, right? So we got to decide that we're not going to walk around wounded. I'm not going to walk around bleeding on people that didn't cut me. I'm going to accept the reckless love of God. I'm not going to sit and think you owe me for nothing. I want peace in my life. You know, you ever seen Judge Judy? She is mean. I'm like, I bet she needs to rent a family too for Thanksgiving. As soon as she comes on, I turn her. And even that other show where that lady, Joy, whatever her name is, just angry. I can't watch it. Why? Because I lay in my bed every day and say, God, break my heart for what breaks yours. If that means that I'm walking around bleeding on people that didn't cut me, fix me. Guess what, y'all? That's your job. Therapists are of God. Happy pills are of God. But you can't stay on those because you enjoy the attention that broken gets you. You got to say, you going to help me get out of this funk right now because I got 3 kids that need me to be sane. And right now, I want to kill them. But I ain't staying here. While I'm taking my happy pill, I'm going to be getting deliverance. And I'm going to tell my sons, you see this medication? Hold me accountable. I am not going to be on this happy pill in 3 months. Why? Because I ain't staying here. You got to get up and you got to walk out of whatever it is that's making you stay in your funk. It's usually in your own mind. I need my prayer team up here. Pretty please. Y'all are about to walk in to Thanksgiving. And basically what this whole sermon was today is giving you an option to let go because you can. Stop staying in the courtroom because you like the attention broken gets you. You are not who they say you are. You are who he says you are. The woman at the well, me and Lamont were talking about it earlier. We were talking about all these things in the Bible, all these people that have walked through all these traumatic things in their lives. Those are the ones that started revival. That woman at the well, married 5 times and living with somebody that wasn't even her boo. And she stirred up a revival. Jonah was told to go to Nineveh, and he's like, boy, bye. Went the opposite direction. God, in his gracious and his powerfulness, he said, fish, go follow Jonah. Because he's going to need transportation back to where I told him to be in the first place. This is how good God is, but he's waiting on you. So in this room today, maybe you're like, oh gosh, you're already dreading holidays with your mother-in-law or your father-in-law. Or maybe this is the first holiday without a loved one. Maybe it's your first holiday without your spouse. And you're broken. You got to make up in your mind today, I'm leaving it here. I'm not going to walk out and stalk them another day. Maybe your family's not even going to invite you to home because you would make them happy with your life decisions. You could come hang out with me. Okay. I got a whole red velvet cake I'm getting made and a ham. Plenty. But don't allow yourself to stay home and get drunk and have a hangover the next day because you didn't face yourself. So here's your homework this week. You got to be willing to let go of those things that break your heart. It happened. It hurts. But you got some free life college and you ain't got to pay one student loan back. Who in here can say, I've been sad for a long time, but I'm done being sad? Today, after this sermon, who's deciding right now? Come on, lift your hand. I am not letting my circumstances dictate. I may not like where I am, but I ain't staying here. If I got to drag my big old thick thigh, I'm going to drag it. Who in this room, lift your hand as high as you can. Y'all look at this. Look around. People coming to church. But see, this is what church don't let you do. They want you to act like ain't nothing wrong because, oh, we are perfect little Stepford housewives and we are perfect and you ain't sleeping, you sick in your body and drinking yourself to sleep every night. So come on, lift your hand up. Now here's what we're about to do. If you're by your spouse and they got their hands up, you need to be like, thank you, God. Woo! Now I need you to touch your neighbor. If they got their hands up, come on, reach around and touch somebody. Just come on, show them. Say, girl, you are coming out. 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 This is going to be your best holiday. This is going to be the start of your night. So, Father, in the name of Jesus, come on, lift your hands up. I release a blessing in this room. That, God, we are not what we've been through. That, Lord, we're about to see in vivid color. I just saw that. Some of y'all about to have some HD vision. You're going from foggy to woo! You're about to see colors. You're about to be excited about life. You ain't gonna be on the struggle bus no more. You ain't gonna be angry. You ain't even gonna know why you ain't angry no more because they did it, but you don't care. You are rising up out of the ashes. You're thanking God that rejection was God's protection. So, Lord, I just thank you for breakthrough. I need y'all to grab it. Breakthrough. I break and bind off everything in your mind that's caused you chaos and confusion. And I speak peace over you. Receive it. Now, all you got to do is walk in it. Renew your mind. Don't let nothing take you back to what God set you free from when he got on that cross. Y'all feel good?